State College is about to lose some of its only 55 and older affordable housing, and you need to know about it. Addison Court is one of the only places in State College, especially downtown State College, that was designed as affordable housing for those 55 and older on low income, fixed income, and those with disabilities. It was built back in 1994 using the federal low income housing tax credit program. Essentially, the federal government would give tax credits to these developers who were going to build affordable housing, and those developers would sell those tax credits to investors. The investors then gave the developer cash in exchange for those tax credits. The business that bought those got tax breaks, which is very lucrative for those businesses. In exchange, obviously, they funded this project. And back then, this was heralded as a massive endeavor. I mean, it was named, Addison Court was named after the former State College mayor. And even back there in 1994, that mayor was so proud and was so happy that this was going on. We're building affordable housing in State College for those who are 55 and older. And now it's getting shut down because the stipulation for them building that and for the federal government to give those tax credits was that the building would have to stay affordable housing for 30 years. And so if you think back, you have this 30-year requirement. This place was built in 1994. It expired December 2024. And so now, December 2025, the investors come knocking and saying, you guys got to get out. We're knocking down the building. And so now you might ask, okay, so they're tearing down the building. What are they putting up? Are they putting up more affordable housing? Are they putting up another 55 and older community? No, they're tearing this building to build more student housing in downtown State College. They're replacing a building that currently has 89 units that are mostly single or efficiency apartments for people who are 55 and older, remember. And they're replacing it with a high-rise student housing project, very similar to the one right next door. And it's going to be 40 units that where only four of them are going to be considered inclusive units. So that way they can be affordable. These 40 units are going to have like 5 bedrooms. That's according to the current plan that they proposed to the borough. I think it's just frustrating because it's like, you know that this building has already been paid for. You know that this building, in which that's not even a hyperbole. State College gave them a $400,000 loan that was paid off in 2012. So this building is generating this property owner income. Like, we know this. Like, and most of it's being paid by the federal and state government because obviously there's a pile of it. It's Section 8 housing. It's housing vouchers. So like a lot of this to me is frustrating because it's like it's guaranteed income. Like, let's be real. Like, that's these are senior citizens. These are people 55 and older. They are on low income, but like they have guaranteed money for a lot of them coming in to pay for their apartment. And so now they're saying that's not enough. They realize they could just tear it down and put up luxury student housing instead because they know they can gouge college students more. They know that these students are coming to Penn State, so they probably got some money, and they could just fill up these units. Meanwhile, there are empty student units across downtown at these expensive high rises. They keep building these. And yes, there's demand for student housing, but the reality is there's demand for affordable student housing, not rich, super high scale student housing. Okay? So college students are sitting there going, this is all that I can get because this is all they're building. Meanwhile, the corporation that's doing this, Primecore, they're the developer, right? They're a state college based developer, and the CEO comes walking into the borough and is pitching this and saying, you know, the building really needs repairs and it's been low on maintenance and there's a lot of things that got to get fixed. Look, I'm not saying that it's not expensive to fix buildings. I'm not saying that it's building maintenance is not this cheap thing that you can just wash under the rug. I understand that maybe this tower is at an age where maybe it does make sense to knock the thing down and build a new one. I don't agree with it, but maybe that's the case. And in his proposal and in his comments, he makes these comments like as if he's like, I understand that we need more affordable housing. And we're going to do everything in our power to relocate these people and make sure they have a home. Buddy, you're the one knocking it down. You're the one deciding to knock down an affordable housing unit and turn it into student luxury apartments. You have the power to build more affordable units. But when asked by the borough if, well, could you put more affordable units in here? They say, well, it's not feasible. It's not going to be feasible to the plan to put more affordable units in. So in one area, you're saying, well, we want to build more affordable housing in State College. But the reality is they know that the land is super valuable in downtown. That's where the money's at. And so they don't want to build affordable housing downtown. They want to build it on the outskirts where no one can see it. They want to push the poors out of eyesight. They want to make it so the poors, the people who need affordable housing, aren't downtown. Not where all the resources are, not where you can just walk to a Target, not where you can get easy bus access. No, they want to push them out into the suburbs, even further beyond the suburbs. That's what they want to do. So don't give me this crap about you want to build more affordable housing. Buddy, you're the one with the capital to do it. Okay? I can't build affordable housing. You want to know why? Because I can't afford to build affordable housing. I don't have millions of dollars sitting in real estate investments to be able to build affordable housing. If I had a couple $1,000,000, we'd be building affordable housing. But instead, the capital is stuck in these companies that apparently we have thought for all these years that if we just give them tax credits and we use these public-private partnerships. I mean, back in 1994, this was such a big deal. They're like, look at this. It's a private-public partnership. And we're going to give them this money and these tax breaks, and this is going to be a public good. Now, here we are 30 years later, and the corporate greed still exists. The only reason they've kept it affordable for these last 30 years is because they were legally required to. Don't give me this crap that these corporations have our best interests in mind, because clearly right now they don't. And Primecore, this developer who's sitting there and sending these letters to these tenants saying, hey, you're out. They don't care. I don't care. You can say whatever you want in a borough council meeting. But the reality is, if you actually cared about these people, you would realistically, look, if I'm the one with the money and we really have to tear down this building, you create another temporary housing project for them to go to. You make it so, hey, listen, we got to tear down the building. We're going to offer you a place to live. You get to live there for X amount, and then we're going to tear down the building. We're going to build affordable housing, 55 and older, the same way, same style. And you're going to get offered a slot. And if you want it, great. And if not, then we'll help you relocate. That's what you do. You don't come into the borough council and say, well, we understand that we need more affordable housing, and I want to work with the borough to build more affordable housing. Buddy, you're the guy doing it. So don't give me that crap. And I understand this isn't in my district. I understand this, some people say, well, John, you're talking about something in State College. That's the reality is everybody needs to know about it. And the question everybody's now going to say is, what can we do? Well, we've kind of been set up for failure in this regard. It's private property. And unfortunately, the only way people will say, oh, well, the borough could vote it down, they'll take it to court. They'll argue that they don't have the legal right to tell them no, or that it's technicalities and they just have to hash it out in the planning commission. The reality is, I think the only way you do get change is by naming and shaming. People should know the corporation that's doing this. It's Primecore. Primecore is out here with their CEO, and they're the ones making this happen. These are the rich corpos that are out here. This is not your mom and pop realty company. This is not the nice guy you bought your house from. This is your corpo realty group that all they care about is return on investment. All they care about is money. They will build this building using the cheapest labor, the cheapest materials, make it look as nice as possible, and then not fill out maintenance requests, not respond to problems. Because if you talk to any student that lives in these luxury apartments, how many times do they say, we've had this issue in our apartment for how long? We put in the maintenance request. No one talks to us. No one even lets us know. That's what happens when you corporatize everything. It's all about the profit margin. And now, not only are they destroying an affordable housing project, that's not bad enough. They're destroying an affordable housing project for senior citizens, 55 and older, disabled people, people that, while on one hand, they're going to the borough and saying, we're doing everything we can to help relocate these people. Those same people are saying they can't find equivalent housing. Because back in 1994, they championed this building that it was designed with seniors in mind, designed with people with disabilities. And now, again, even if you just put them to another house, that house might not be designed for them. People with wheelchairs, people with accessibility disabilities, all of these things. This was designed with that in mind, but now that's not profitable. And so it's just, again, what can we do? I think in the future, we need to reevaluate how we do public housing. These public-private partnerships are great until the limits run out. And all of a sudden, it goes back to private corporations and their greed and the way they make money. Realistically, the people need to own this kind of stuff. I know everybody's going, but the government, they don't do that. That's by choice. The government has been run poorly by choice. If we can take back our government, if we can actually run it the proper way, with real people making the decisions, not bureaucrats, we could make it so something like this wouldn't happen. That we could run public housing. Now, obviously, this isn't public housing, but really, that's the real solution to this. Housing owned by the public. Housing that is, or if anything, housing that doesn't have a 30-year limit on it. And that is a true private public partnership. Because this isn't that. We subsidized through the lack of tax dollars, because again, this was sold through tax break credits. We sold out. We let them build a place. And for 30 years, it's been great. They've had a place to live. Now they don't. Because the moment that you let them take back an inch, they will not only take a mile, but they'll take the freaking road with them.